Hello and welcome back to the Write Your Path podcast. My name is Lolly Spindler. I am a writer, editor, book doula, and liberation coach. And pretty soon I'm going to have to add singer to this ever-evolving list of identifiers. And honestly, if the words with which you use to identify don't keep changing and evolving with you, I don't know what you're doing. And that is what this episode is about. So an idea came to me, and I do believe that if ideas choose us, it's because they choose to be birthed by us. And this idea came to me, I don't even know. It could have been during Vipassana. I mean, there were so many ideas that came to me during that time, being in silence, not having distractions. And I obviously wasn't able to write them down. So I feel like I might have lost some of those ideas, but I know they'll come back if they are meant to be birthed by me. Which is why actually I was just telling some of my girlfriends, like, I would love to be in silence again, but to have it be a different format, because I found that in silence, as a creative person, so many ideas, beautiful ideas came to me. And I just wanted to write them down and really like birth out those ideas. But I wasn't able to in that particular setting, in that particular Vipassana process. So I would love to go back into silence, but be able to actually write and create in that silent time. So I will be calling that in as my next silent retreat. But this idea originally came to me, let's say during Vipassana. I'm not really sure exactly when. And then it resurfaced again during Jupiter Cassimi that just happened this past week. Wow, English is hard. I got on a call with my dear friend Chelsea, who's also been on the pod. I'll link to her episode. And she now no longer lives in Mexico City, so sad. But she's still in Mexico. So we hopped on a call and we did some journal prompts together for Jupiter Cassimi. And one of those prompts spurred me to think of this idea I had had previously, and it came up again. And so I was like, all right, if this idea has knocked on my door multiple times, it's because it's time to be birthed. So introducing the Creation Project. This is something that literally just invites anyone who has had an idea to create something that has been sitting on a shelf in their brain and they just haven't done it yet. A lot of times we use the excuse of we don't have the time. I think this is bullshit. We make time for what is important. So it's something else. And most likely it is a limiting belief, a fear that is really at the root of you not birthing this project yet. And I am saying this from experience. I recently said yes to myself. One of the creations I will be birthing is I'm going to book a recording studio and record all of the mantras that I know. I've been wanting to record myself. Well, I do record myself and I put it on Instagram, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sit and record with this microphone that I use for the podcast and like record myself and my harmonium playing and singing. And then I was like, you know what? Like, that's gonna not sound great. And I mean, like, the quality of the audio isn't like my biggest thing, right? I just feel like I need to get my medicine in form of me singing mantras out into the world. If it can help even one person connect with themselves and with source, that is worth it to me. But I was like, you know what? Like, if I'm going to do this, let's just fucking go. Let's just fucking do this. And so my other friend, Maka, who was just on the podcast, I'll also link to her episode. She is a professional musician. She's a pianist and composer. And so I was like, hey, like, you know, like, where in Mexico City do you record? And so she sent me the studio that she usually records at. And she's like, they're great. And they're like, great for independent artists, and they're like the cheapest. And I was like, perfect, because I'm not trying to invest like a shit ton of money in this project right now. I just want to birth this baby. And so I'm looking at these studios, and there's one literally around the corner from my house. And so I was like, oh my God, perfect. Like, the barrier to entry is even lower now because I literally just have to walk 5 minutes. And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, the studio you sent me. And she's like, that is insane. Like, I have only gone to the one that is like an hour away in Estado de Mexico, and that's always where I record. I had no idea they had opened one up in Condesa around the corner from us. And I was like, okay, this is the universe being like, you literally have no excuses, Lolly. You literally have to walk 5 minutes and you can go there. And it's like a really reasonable price. It was like, okay, great. Like, and I'm just going to go and I'm going to pay for the hours for recording. And I don't know anything about mixing or mastering. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But honestly, like, I just was like, this will be great. It'll be professionally recorded, and then I can kind of figure out what to do with it next. And so, spurred on by this new project, when I was writing out these journal responses, I was like, why was that so easy for me to just be like, hell yeah, let's do it. I'm going to contact the studio. I'm going to ask some questions, and then we're going to put this ball into motion, like get this plan rolling, right? I was like, why was that so easy for me to do? And publishing my book of poetry, which I've been working on this year, has still, like, there's still something there that is keeping me from taking like the action I need to take. And so I sat with that question. I thought about it, and I was like, it's because of my identifiers. It's because have never identified as a singer. And so for me to create a body of music and to put it out into the world is very low risk because no one knows me as a singer. So if it's not well received, it doesn't fucking matter because nobody thinks of me that way anyways. Whereas having identified as a writer my entire life, and especially professionally, it's a lot higher bar to clear, right? So now if I'm like putting out a book of poetry, people's expectations will naturally be higher because they think of me as a writer. And I was like, damn, like that's crazy. Like these limitations we put on ourselves, because even if we've done the work, right? Like I've been doing the work. It's always a process. But even someone like me who's like aware of my shit and like consciously working on my shit, still I realize that there's fear around this or some blockages holding me back because of the fact that others see me as this thing and I identify so closely with this thing, right? When really like identifiers are bullshit. Like we are we are just humans moving through space. Like we are just souls in a meat suit running around this reality for a short time, right? And so like the identifiers we put on ourselves and identify with don't mean anything. And I know this, consciously aware of it, and still like it's causing commotion for me. It's causing some type of block. But now we're saying it's no longer going to be a block because I'm aware of it. And so we're like, fuck it. This is what I've decided. I wrote in a newsletter earlier this year. If you would like to join my newsletter, it goes out weekly on Wednesday. I'll also put a link to join in the episode description. But I put in a newsletter earlier this year, like, I just am going to start approaching projects with the mindset of fuck it. Like, who gives a shit if it's well received? Who gives a shit if anybody listens or anybody reads? Because that's not the point. Like, I'm not doing it for anyone else. I'm doing it for me because my intuition is telling me you need to get this out there. Like, you need to birth these babies. Which is why I have birthed all the babies I have in my life, because my intuition, if I'm meant to do it, will not shut up about it. And it'll be like, hey, girl, remember that thing? You still need to do that. And it's not for anyone else. And so I remembered this newsletter I sent out months ago, and then I saw how easily I said yes to recording music, something I don't do, like something I like is brand new to me, right? I just started singing again a little over a year ago. I just learned this instrument a little over a year ago. Like, I'm a newbie in this realm. And I was like, wow, if I can say yes that easily to something I'm new to because there's no expectation around it, I want to approach every project with that energy. I want to approach my book like that. Like, nobody knows me as a writer. I'm an unknown. I'm going to approach that project with that energy. So now, in addition to the fuck it for the expectations, I'm just going to approach everything with like, I'm completely new to this and I have nothing to lose. That is how I will be approaching my creative project now, which is where the idea for the creation project came from. So it's inviting anyone in who also has had this project on the shelf that has just been like taking up mental space. Like, wouldn't it be great to get that space back if we just birth these things into the world and it's no longer like in our minds all the time? Like, I love the Seneca quote, we suffer more in imagination than reality. And it's so true. We build these things up in our heads for so long. And then when we finally sit down to do it, it takes a fraction of the time we thought it was going to. The barriers are minimum to actually getting it done. And then when it's actually birthed out into the world, we feel such a sense of relief and contentment. And we're just like, holy shit, why was I carrying this for so long when all I had to do was put it out there? And now it's out in the world. And how beautiful is that? And I'm so proud of myself. So I will be creating this space for anyone to join where we will just be in community, a free space, a community space where we will just be taking steps together, have accountability to finally birth these projects that have been taking up mental space. This can be anything. Like, it can be an album that you want to record. It can be a book you want to write. It can also be a macrame project. Literally, I'm looking at mine that has been sitting in my fucking closet for years now. It can be your macrame project. It can be something you've been wanting to crochet or embroider, or an instrument you've been wanting to learn, or literally a language you've always wanted to learn. Literally anything, any project, any creative pursuit that has been nagging at you and it has chosen you to birth this idea. Like, this idea has chosen you to be birthed by you. So if you have anything like that in your sphere, I want you to come and join me so we don't have to do this thing together. And we're going to take this newbie beginner's mindset energy, because who gives a shit how it turns out? We're not doing it for the end result, right? The meaning is in the process, not the result. We're detaching from the expectations. We're detaching from the outcome, and we're just going to create together. Because especially in the age and time in which we are currently, there's an incredible Andrea Gibson quote where she says, "We must create. It is the only thing louder than destruction." And in this specific moment in time, when there is so much destruction around us, how amazing would it be, and what an incredible ripple effect could we make if we came together in community to create? Literally nothing else but creation. We are just focusing on the energy of creation in our lives. And what kind of ripple effects could that have on ourselves, on our families, on our friends, on our communities, on the world? Literally, I think just the act of creation creates such a beautiful energy, especially when it has this beautiful intention behind it, that it can ripple out and help others create too. And if we're all creating, then we are able to somehow minimize the destruction that we are not responsible for that is happening all around us. So if this speaks to you, I invite you to join. I will create some type of group where we can come together in creation, in the spirit of creation, and can finally work on these projects together. And it doesn't have to even be one. Like, you can pick multiple. Like, right now, I'm going to record my album. I am going to finish my book. I am going to finish this macrame piece that is hanging behind me. I am going to finish a wool blanket that I started years ago that I'm like hand pulling. I want to finish that too. And I have another bag of wool that I need to create another blanket with. So like, I got projects, right? And it's like, it's also when we're able to finally birth these projects, we create space for more abundance to come to us, right? So like, once these things that have literally been sitting in my physical closet and my mental closet for so long are cleared out of that space and are into the world, it makes space for more beautiful ideas, more beautiful people, more beautiful projects to come to us so that we can continue this beautiful cycle of creation. So I'm really excited for this, personally, because I just need to get shit done, but also to have other people with me, and do this together. And I know, like, right, like, creation gets creation. Like, you will be inspired by other people's ideas and the way they go about their projects. Like, oh, I never thought about that. And maybe you'll even learn some new skills from other people in this creative space that you're like, wow, I've always wanted to learn macrame. And then I can hold like a little session where I teach you how to do macrame or whatever, right? And if somebody wants to share, like, if they are like recording an album or writing a book or a screenplay or whatever, they can also be in the space and share a little bit of that and inspire other people through their music, through their words. So I'm really excited to see what kind of beautiful creative community we can cultivate and foster in this space. So if you are down, I will leave like a link in the show notes where you can sign up. And it's, like I said, it's completely free. It's just a communal space of creation. And I just want to kind of see what we can do together with this beautiful creative force that we all have within us. And then create that space for more beautiful things to come into our lives. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. If you could please comment and subscribe if you haven't already, that would be super helpful for me to keep creating this podcast, another baby creation, and to reach more people who might find it useful and helpful. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao.